Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kelsey, and I'm so glad you could be here today. Today's video is going to be part 3 of a 3-part series I'm dubbing Which Bronte Sister Did It Best? In this series, I'm reading one novel from each of the consumptives to determine which one I like best. So who will it be? Will Anne, Charlotte, or Emily come out on top? Only time will tell. So as always, grab a snack, get cozy, and let's get into it. Okay, if you have seen part 1 and part 2 of this series, you should already know which book we are reading in this video. If you have not seen parts 1 and 2, go back and watch those to see my reactions to the other Bronte novels. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our last novel, which is Agnes Grey by Anne Charlotte. I actually don't know too much about this novel. I think it's about a governess. I'm hoping that it will be different than Jane Eyre because that was also about a governess. So hopefully this will be a fun new story to dive into. I'm really excited to see if Anne's writing is different than her sister's. And I'm excited to see what kind of story she chooses to tell. So yeah, I'm excited to be introduced to her as an author. Okay, so I am here with an update on Agnes Grey. I've read about 70 pages, so I'm a little less than halfway through this. Anne's writing is fairly simple. She doesn't use any fancy wording. She's not very flowery, not any crazy long descriptions. She's pretty straight to the point. And actually, multiple times already, there has been something happening, and she says, I will spare the reader the details, and she just moves on to the next thing, which is different from both of her sisters. Like, if a character is traveling from point A to point B, where Emily and Charlotte would have had the reader go along with the character through that journey. Anne just tells you that it happened and skips over it because she says that she thinks the reader would find that boring, which I actually appreciate because sometimes those were the moments in the other two books that did seem to drag on and that I was, just waiting to get through so I could get more into the meat of the story again. I think that also is why this book is so short compared to the other two, because she doesn't feel the need to go into all the details of every little thing that happens. I am actually quite enjoying the story so far. The first family that Agnes is placed with as a governess, I know exactly how she felt. I know exactly how she felt in that situation. I get it, and it's so incredibly frustrating. So, yeah, I relate to Agnes a little bit, and yeah, I'm excited to see where else this story goes. I am a little nervous about getting a lot of footage and making this video somewhat interesting because it is so short. I feel like it's going to be over before I know it, and I'm not going to have much to really say or film because there's not much content here. So, Yeah, but that's where we're at right now. All right, so I finished reading Agnes Grey. This book was short, sweet, and fun. I think this is definitely the most fun out of the three books. I definitely found each chapter interesting. The fact that she doesn't dwell too much on one thing and keeps the story going means that it's pretty interesting and doesn't lull throughout like the whole thing. Um, I feel like I relate most to Agnes out of all three characters from each of the Bronte novels. She the situations that she finds herself in, as well as a bit of her personality, does remind me of myself. I also think that Mr. Weston is my favorite love interest from all three of the different novels that I read. Mr. Rochester obviously would be second, and Heathcliff would be last because I don't like Heathcliff whatsoever. Mr. Rochester, there was a few things that made me a little uneasy or that I found a little icky, but I think that he genuinely loved Jane. But Mr. Weston, he is just a good, honest man, and I love books with soft, safe love. I love seeing women being treated the way that they deserve. I love that that is the kind of love that exists in this book. Um, Mr. Weston is just great. Also, I found that I enjoyed learning about Rosalie, who is one of Agnes's pupils at the house that she spends most of the book at as a governess. I enjoyed hearing more about her and her story. She is very vain and very thoughtless, just kind of a theme throughout all of the Bronte books. Like, the Bronte sisters really enjoyed writing about aggravating characters. I enjoyed Rosalie's story because it was a testament to how women's roles and their only options, how that pigeonholed them into one specific thing that was not always the best situation for them or those around them. When Rosalie gets married and has a baby, she is upset because she doesn't want to be a mother. She has no interest in being a mother. She has no interest in raising a child. She wanted money. She wanted to keep her station, which she did. She married somebody rich, even though he's an awful man. And of course, since she didn't have access to contraception at that time, she had a baby within her first year of marriage. And for me, I think it brought up some interesting reflections surrounding a lot of the conversations that we are having today about women's autonomy and bodies and our choices, our healthcare, as well as what path we should be taking. And I feel like we see a lot of conversations about how a woman's role is to be a mother and that that is the highest achievement that a woman can have and that every woman should strive to be a mother. And if you don't become a mother, you are going to severely regret it. That it is the only way to truly be happy. It is the only way to truly feel fulfilled as a woman, which is an idea that I don't agree with. So, like I said, it brought up a lot of reflections for me on the fact that um, Anne obviously knew that there were some women who were not made to be mothers and that didn't have the choice and became mothers, and how that obviously leads to probably not the best home for a child to grow up in, but also how that can get in the way of a woman truly pursuing the things that she wants to. Because Rosalie actually talks about how she views dedicating yourself to a child and being a mother is as degrading as devoting your life to a dog. That's how she feels about children and being a mother. Women deserve the choice to choose. And so it was interesting to read about a woman who didn't have that choice, and how that didn't lead to the outcome that a lot of conservatives online like to spew will come from women having children. Um, there wasn't a positive outcome in this story for the woman that had a child. Yeah. Anywho, I know that was like a ramble. I thought I would bring that up because I thought that was interesting. I definitely recommend Agnes Grey for a quick, easy spring or summer read. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked Agnes as a character. I love Mr. Weston. It was good. Before I forget, my rating of this book is 4 stars. Um, I liked it. I rated the other two books higher because I do feel like there was obviously more meat to really chew on and reflect on. Um, so this was still good, but there wasn't a lot to really digest. Now there's only one thing left to do, and that's add Agnes Grey back to the box set. Alrighty, and just like that, all 3 books are added to the box set. I've read this entire thing. That's crazy. That's actually kind of a lot. Um, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed Charlotte's novel and writing the most out of the 3 sisters. However, I admire Emily's bravery in writing such an honest story as Wuthering Heights. It was very honest and raw and had a lot of themes surpassing romance, which before I read it, from what I had known about it and hearing that there was a movie coming out, I assumed that it was just a romance novel. And it is not a romance novel. It's not about romance at all. So I commend her bravery for writing a book with the themes that she did and tackling such heavy subjects. That was very brave of her. So I commend Emily's bravery and Anne. I appreciate Anne's directness, her ability to write in such a straightforward yet captivating manner. It was fun. And yeah, that is my final thoughts on these 3 works of the Bronte sisters. Let me know in the comments which Bronte sisters writing you like best, or what your favorite Bronte novel is of all of the sisters. Um, and yeah, once again, thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you have not seen part 1 and part 2 to this series, go back and watch those to see my full reactions to Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. And if you would like to stay updated on other videos that I post, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time.